On March 24, an intercontinental ballistic missile was launched from somewhere near the capital, Pyongyang. The missile traveled on a steep vertical path, known as a lofted trajectory. The observed range is shortened, but the energy used to get to the apex of its trajectory indicates the missile's potential reach. The launch reached a maximum altitude of more than 6,200 kilometers, a staggering 15 times higher than the International Space Station. The test's altitude, distance, and flight time of about 71 minutes indicate enough power to achieve a range of over 15,000 kilometers if flown on a typical ballistic missile trajectory. Later in the year, the North carried out its longest-range test when it fired an intermediate-range missile on a much lower trajectory over Japan and into the Pacific Ocean some 4,600 kilometers away on October 4. North Korea has forged ahead in developing ballistic missiles, testing new capabilities, honing existing weapons, and putting them into service. All of this work was accompanied by an explicit, repeated message that it would never abandon its arsenal. After historic denuclearization talks between leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump fell apart in 2019, Pyongyang rolled out new and increasingly capable short-range ballistic missiles, SRBMs, many of which can maneuver to confound missile defenses. Like most North Korean long-range ballistic missile tests, both ICBMs were fired on lofted trajectories. Pyongyang says it does this out of concern for the safety of its neighbors. It has now fired at least 3 intermediate-range ballistic missiles over Japan, however, including the October 4th flight, where the missile, possibly a variant of the intermediate-range Hwasong-12, landed about 3,200 kilometers beyond Japan in the Pacific Ocean. South Korea and the United States have warned since early 2022 that North Korea may resume nuclear testing for the first time since 2017. Analysts say that could help it perfect smaller nuclear warheads that can fit on a range of missiles. One focus has been tactical nuclear weapons, whose warheads have less explosive power but are meant for battlefield use, attacking specific targets relatively close to the launch point. North Korea also claims to have tested a new type of hypersonic missile in late 2021 and in 2022. Such weapons usually fly at lower altitudes than typical ballistic missiles at more than 5 times the speed of sound, or about 6,200 kilometers per hour. Analysts say the main feature of hypersonic weapons is not speed but the ability to maneuver, which can help them avoid interception and even switch targets after launch. Before Kim Jong-un assumed office in 2012, North Korea had test-fired only 2 different kinds of ballistic missiles in 31 launches between 1984 and 2009. Kim Jong-un started firing missiles a year after assuming office. The country has since tested a dozen different kinds of missiles of many sizes and types. The rate of testing has increased as well. North Korea launched nearly 5 dozen ballistic missiles in 2022, the most in 1 year. Pyongyang had declared a self-imposed moratorium on long-range test launches from 2018 until March 2022. During that break, however, it was far from quiet, rolling out new smaller systems such as SRBMs. What continues to stand out is the sheer number of new missile designs that continue to emerge from North Korea. Some designs seem to overlap, which could mean North Korea is simply trying as many options as possible rather than fully testing, manufacturing, and deploying them in meaningful numbers. Short-range weapons help it prepare for a potential confrontation with its neighbors, especially South Korea, which hosts about 28,500 American troops. In its testing program, short-range missiles seem to have been the most successful. Recent years have seen North Korea test missiles from different locations and launch platforms in what analysts say is an effort to simulate a conflict and make it difficult for enemies to detect and preemptively destroy the weapons. In January, North Korea launched 2 SRBMs from a train near the northern border with China, in what state media said was a short-notice drill aimed at boosting the proficiency of the troops operating the missiles. Despite the country's limited and sometimes unreliable rail network, rail-mobile missiles are a relatively cheap and efficient option to improve their survivability, analysts say. North Korea's short-range missile arsenal is designed to hit targets up to 500 kilometers away, enough to threaten any part of South Korea, which hosts several United States military bases. Its longest-range medium-range ballistic missile, MRBM, the Puksuksong-2 or KN-15, can reach up to 2,000 kilometers, covering the whole of Japan, half of China and Mongolia, and parts of southeast Russia. North Korea's IRBMs can reach even further. The Hwasong-12, its longest-range missile of that type, can hit targets up to 5,000 kilometers away. The ICBMs of North Korea can potentially hit targets almost anywhere in the world, including all of the mainland United States.